Tell us about the F-16. How did you become a pilot? Why did you become a pilot? How did that all happen?
For me, it's all about excitement. I smelled the smell of JP4 jet fuel when I was a kid. My dad was a mechanic at Kennedy Airport in New York City. I saw those floating birds and I was hooked. In a heartbeat, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I crafted my life, my work ethic, my focus around that goal. As you know, when we have goals, when we're passionate, we're willing to do the hard work necessary to be a pilot. So the bottom line is it's not easy to do. And as you'll soon discover, and I think I may have shared this with you before, I had a massive fear of heights, which was a big deal when you're flying planes.
And claustrophobic.
So I've always had challenges with small spaces, but it never affected me. In POW training, just as unclassified as I can get, you're stuck into a very small space. I didn't enjoy it. Most of us don't. But 3 years into my 11-year active duty flying career, almost 3,000 hours, I almost died in a scuba diving accident around 40 feet under the water. My mask malfunctioned. I had a panic attack. It was the worst experience of my life. Let's leave it at that. And I said, I'm never doing that again. And sure enough, 3 days later, I'm flying through the weather. Couldn't see the sun, couldn't see the ground. I'm in this, what's called the soup, just locked in. And essentially I have the same panic attack that I had a few days prior. But instead of being 40,000 or 40 feet under the water, now I'm 30, 40,000 feet in the air. Realized I had claustrophobia, and that shifted everything for me from living with flying and enjoying it to having to challenge myself every single time I strapped into that plane to fly.
So how did you get over that?
So here I am, I want to fly more than anything. I love the thrill. I love, flying jets was the coolest thing in the world. But then I had this mental issue, this psychological claustrophobia, manic issue that I was dealing with the whole time. And I can spend probably 5 hours talking with you just about this issue and how I overcame it. But there are 3 things. You have to, number one, love what you do. You have to enjoy the thrill. I call it, your passion has to be greater than your fear. So when I strapped in to fly every day, I loved the thrill, the excitement, the energy, the challenge, the competition. That environment got me alive. And if what you do as an entrepreneur, whatever it is, doesn't get you alive, doesn't get you out of bed, never mind what keeps you up, it doesn't get you out of bed and excite you, abort immediately. That was critical. The second thing that allowed me to do it, not quit and play it safe, because I could have quit and played it safe and then eventually told my son, who's now 6 years old, hey, guess what? Your dad had a dream to fly F-16s, and as soon as things got tough, he quit. Life is about breaking through those challenges. So I loved it. And then I was manically prepared. Every time I flew, I knew the mission. I knew the tactics, the procedures. I asked the what ifs. What if I had these issues or panic attacks? What's the nearest fields? Am I confident in my skills? Am I mentally ready? Am I physically ready? Physical fitness, sleep, not going out drinking like a lot of the dudes were. Nothing against my fighter pilot buddies, but we're all big drinkers. Most military guys and gals are. But I said no to the crap that was out there, and I got focused on myself, my mind. I needed to be present, because as soon as you're tired, as soon as you don't get enough sleep, as soon as you're not fit, that phobia, those issues and depression challenges are going to come and shoot you down. So that was another big thing that allowed me to not fail. And the last thing was the fact that I had wingmen who were flying with me. Great men and women who, when I looked to my left and right, they would be there for me when I called out for help. So having those folks with me and knowing they needed me, as soon as you realize other people need you, when I was going in combat, man, if I quit, these folks would be at a disadvantage. So it was a little bit of peer pressure. It was a focus on responsibility that these folks needed me. So when we realize other people in our life need us, we find meaning in our mission, and we don't quit when the going gets tough. People in your life depend on you, and that's that whole wingman philosophy that I wrote my book on. I like to be there for people. I am not going to let my fear stop me from going out there, kicking butt, and doing what I need to do to help people kick butt in their life.